How's it going? Today we have something special we're bringing into the garage. Something different that we haven't done yet. We're still working on the Honda over there, but we're gonna switch gears. We got something totally different today. So let's check it out. We have a 2006 Toyota Tacoma. Now this Tacoma needs some fuel injectors, spark plugs, and coil packs. We had some issues where the truck would die, and it has unusual idling issues, some slight sputtering, and just a bit of power loss at times. The old Euro tail lights. We gotta let Riker in. Come on, dude, let's go. We got a truck to work on today. Okay, truck's in the garage. There's one thing I can tell you, if there was a smell that you could smell, it reeks of fuel in this truck right now. And actually when I was pulling it out front, I could see little spots here and there. So what I'm thinking is the O-rings that are in these fuel injectors have completely failed. And it's not a good condition because if you're driving this around, you really risk this thing catching fire of any sort, and then you don't have a Toyota Tacoma anymore. So that's why we're gonna do this work, because it's not right, and we're gonna fix it. Let's see, there it is right there. And whew, yeah, it smells even worse when you get in here. What we're working on today is the fuel injectors and spark plugs. So spark plugs are located along here, right underneath here where your coil pack spark plugs are. So we got to take the air box off, which is just this section here. We'll take that off. You got your throttle body here. That has also got to come off. And then your throttle body position sensor is also a part of this as well, which there could be an issue with this, but we're trying the fuel injectors first. And if we still have a problem, we're going to move on to that. Your fuel injectors are actually located back here. They're not as easy to see because they're a little bit buried. So some of this wiring here has to get loosened, taken off so we can actually get to the whole system. We're gonna get going on this so we can get this back on the road. All right, thanks to a Rock Auto, we were able to get a lot of our parts for very good pricing. We've got fuel injectors here, we've got coil packs, and then of course we have spark plugs. Let's get a look at one of these fuel injectors. They're nothing too crazy, pretty simple design, but just designed to really spray that fuel into your system so you can get that correct air-fuel mixture ratio. Okay, I just realized I didn't have my earrings in, so I got those put back in. And now I'm probably way more balanced and ready to go. Okay, so once you start trying to pull this thing out, it is going to leak a little bit. It's okay. I mean, that's just the nature of this job. Fuel is definitely, oh yeah, so there's a whole bunch that came out there. So here's the top of your fuel rail, basically for your fuel injection system. We are going to try to clean it out a little bit, make sure everything's all looking. And then your fuel injectors live right here. So here's one. Get that pulled out of there. There we go. And then this is the temporary gasket right here I put on, which they're just not working. These look a lot better because I did clean them out a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, a couple weeks ago. You can now see down where the fuel injectors go, which are these spots down here. There is fuel down in one of these sides, so I do need to get that cleaned up a little quick, which is this one here. Stuff that down in there.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Jeez. We want to just make sure everything's clean. We don't want to put anything dirty, especially on your fuel system. We want it to be as clean as we possibly can get it. But that is clean now. I'm happy with that. So now we can start actually getting these fuel injectors back in their place. Now, we'll say all of these come with this part of this washer right here, or this gasket. It's not needed on the two outers because the two inners are a little deeper in there. So you do need this so it sets in there good. We're gonna put this one on this side. This one's a little bit deeper. And then we'll put this in. And see, that fits much better down in there. Took that one off, which we're gonna put in this one. So we do want to get a little bit of dielectric grease on those O-rings. So I'm just using this right here. You can really use any grease and you don't want much, you just want a tiny little bit. That way it's easy for the fuel rail to slide right back on easily. Just gonna take a little bit off the top. I'm gonna kind of press that against my thumb and index finger and just wrap around. That's it. The old wrap around.
Yeah, what do you do?
One more. This is probably the harder one to get to on this far left one, closer to your bumpers.
Yeah.
It's just a tight space with the wire in the way. I think from here, what I want to do is go ahead and clean our fuel rail. Our fuel rail here, I'm just using some gum out. I like the brand. This is just carbon choke cleaner, parts cleaner. Won't do any issues with it. We just want to clean it out, make sure everything's clean. So our fuel system runs tip top. Back on, you just kind of work it through here again, and then I'm going to make sure everything's like these are out of the way. Those are just your connections for your fuel injector. So for your fuel injectors, basically what they're going to do is they're going to send the right fuel mixture you need to, run your car. That's going to ignite the combustion inside your chambers in your engine, and it's also with the spark plugs, right? You need a good spark, you need good fuel, and you need a good air mixture so you can create that nice combustion so your car will go vroom vroom. It seems like it's seated well. Make sure we're good here. And I'm just using this as a ratcheting. All right, I'm good with that. And then we'll start getting the throttle body back on. We do need to clean that one real quick, so I will do that. All right, throttle body is a whole lot cleaner than what it started. Okay, well, the fuel injectors are in. We got the throttle body back on. Most of all, the wiring is plugged in back on that side. The fuel lines are plugged back in. We're now gonna get ready to move on to our coil packs and our spark plugs. 10mm socket's all you need to get these off. And then you'll need, of course, your spark plug socket when we get to that point. Okay. Coil packs. That was not too bad either. Okay, now the one thing that we do need to make sure before we put these new spark plugs in is we actually need to check the gap, which these on here are 44 thousandths of an inch. So we're gonna verify these are correct. Now, you have to gap those in order for the spark to jump correctly. And this ensures that once it does ignite from inside your cylinders, that you get the right air, fuel, and spark mixture so that everything's firing correctly. Because if you don't have it correct, you'll probably have some misfires, or you could just have other issues that could potentially damage the engine further. But we're gonna verify these gaps are correct. All right, so I found one that is not correct, so we're just kind of getting this up ever so slightly. And I did it a bit too much. I gotta push that back in. Gotta be really easy with these because it's easy to do a pass. There we go. All right, those are gapped correctly. Now we just get to put these puppies back in here.
Puppy.
Not puppies, spark plugs. Spark plugs are in now. Our last step here is we just got to get these coil packs in. I've got all of these nice and clean. I got to clean down inside, use my air chuck so I can kind of blow some air down in there. Cleaned around these edges so it gets a nice seal. Now we're finally at getting these coil packs on. Well, that concludes our repair job here of getting the fuel injectors and new fuel injectors installed. Spark plugs, coil packs are done. Now, one thing I will say with this Toyota, this does make this repair job seem fairly easy, in which it is. And to be fair, we only have 4 cylinders, so this is an easy job. There are some vehicles out there that this is not as easy as what I just did now. We got it done, so now we're at the part where we just get to actually try this, start it, and see if it's going to run properly. I will have to kind of prime this a little bit. I'm gonna cycle the fuel pump a little bit so I can get the fuel going back to it. And then we're gonna check for any kind of leaks, and then we'll have to drive it around. So let's get things changed out, get things cleaned up, battery back together, and get this thing started. There's a good look of all our old stuff we just took out, our old spark plugs. They're not looking too awful. So I'm just gonna cycle the key just a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna try to crank it. Okay, now we gotta go take a look. The truck seems like it's running good. It does need to drive a little bit, but I am extremely satisfied with this work. This was a very quick job. Like I said, it is very deceiving with these Toyotas on this particular year range. I don't know what that is, but he's been trying to help me. He's been my helper, and that's the kind of stuff my helper does. Anyways, this work is done now. We can wrap it up, get it out of the garage, and then we still got to get this the rest of the way going. It's kind of in shambles at the moment. So thanks for joining me on this episode. This was a random one, but a quick one. I appreciate you so much. I'm Chris. This is Robert's Wrench Garage, and I hope to see you next time. And I also hope you subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.
Water.
And of course, that's Riker. See ya.